Hello all, and welcome. Very excited for today's video, as today will be my debut reaction to Smug Alana. And this format is what I'm going to dub a reaction chain, where we'll be reacting to Smug Alana reacting to other content, sort of similar to what I did in the previous video with Liberal Hive Mind. But I'm excited today because Smug Alana is one of my favorite content creators, easily my favorite VTuber, that's for sure. She does say a lot of very off-the-cusp things, and she has very little filter, so a lot of very genuine sort of narration we get from her, and she's usually quite entertaining as well. I would say that she sits pretty well center, as is typical with any left-leaning individuals. If you ask them, they'll probably say that she leans towards the right. I don't really think, from a logical perspective, she'd be leaning from the right. She's firmly in the center here, but she does react to a lot of right-leaning content as well, sort of Asmongold-y in that way. Either way, very, very excited to be reviewing some of her content. This video just came up a few hours ago, so let's get started and, yeah, see how we do.
Chat, I don't have much to say about this clip other than basically pay me to date you. That's the gist of it. This single mom is blowing up on TikTok for creating a date deposit app, so she will only date men who pre-deposit her date preparation costs ahead of time. I genuinely don't know what to say. I'm not gonna lie. You know, like, back in the day, they just called them, like, escorts, or, like, hoes, or, that's what they call them. Yeah. I don't think this is legal. I mean, in some countries it is. Anyway, let's watch the video. What the hell is she saying? Also...
Okay, look, before we get into the video, this is going to come up quite a lot, and actually was one of the main motivators behind me actually starting this channel, because I've never seen this particular opinion echoed, or at least it gets danced around a lot. And there's a lot of content out there like this. The sort of red pill manosphere, like call it what you like. It's usually, when you call it the manosphere or red pill, it's usually derogatory. So I don't really like to use those terms because there are a lot of valid complaints and a lot of valid experiences here that get glossed over because, hey, it's a man and men apparently aren't allowed to have opinions in certain circles. But we do need to sort of cut through to the heart of this in the sense that in a lawful society, women are the gatekeepers of sex. So it makes sense that there would be a lot of competition for women. Now, a lot of the red pill manosphere rhetoric talks about, you know, women are stupid, they're like this, they're like that, and I don't really gel with a lot of that. And I don't see a lot of challenges to that sort of opinion. Where I come at it from is I did not appreciate being lied to, essentially. I have no problem saying, oh, you need to optimize for these particular traits, and then you will see success. And the manosphere touches on this, and a lot of content that Smug Alana reacts to touches on this. But the lie that men are told is be sensitive, be supportive, don't get in her way, don't be a doormat either. Like that is built in there to a small degree. Optimize for that, and then you'll have success. And in my experience, I used to optimize for that years and years and years ago, and I wasted years of my life optimizing for that strategy, and it never worked. And I feel that's where a lot of the frustration comes from, because men are told to optimize for one thing, which is fine. Women are allowed to have preferences, everyone's allowed to have preferences, but they're telling you to optimize for the wrong things. If you had have just said from the start, optimize for muscles, dominance without control, and essentially just being that provider without looking like you're being that provider, because the women want to look as if they have all of the status and all of the emotional intelligence and all of that type of thing. So make her look good in social situations and be attractive. If you're optimizing, if that was said from the start and that's what you were optimizing for, then you would have seen success. And once I started optimizing for that, I actually saw success as well. But to bring it back to the original point, this concept of, oh, you have to pay a down payment. Well, there is a logic behind it. And here's the thing that I think people don't like to acknowledge is that, well, there is a sensible logic behind it. Because, like, I'll refer to another video I watched the other day where it was a rotund Slavic gentleman, we'll say. Very entertaining video, but the crux of it was he put on all this makeup, he got a wig, he got some prosthetics, and he basically created a Tinder profile. And I found this quite interesting because I'd never actually seen the numbers behind it. And when he went on Tinder and he posed as this girl called Rachel. So if you know the video I'm referring to, definitely link it in the comments below. But he had over 1,000 matches in a day, which blew my mind. Because as a man on Tinder, even with optimizations, you can go many months without a single legitimate match. And by legitimate match, I just mean not a bot. And, you know, the meta has moved on, but usually you could see what a bot was because as soon as you matched with them, they would just spout match at you. Anyone who was on Tinder a few years ago knows exactly what I'm talking about. So if you assume, okay, every woman on the platform, and let's say this extends to all dating platforms, is getting thousands of matches, they don't want to waste their time filtering through all of that. And yeah, I know I might be losing some of you here, but stay with me. Because as a man, you just don't have any options, and you're looking at someone who's, you know, being fed to death whilst you're starving. It's a different kind of pain. But what they want to do is essentially pull the highest quality matches out of this enormous pool as they can. And what are they trying to optimize for? Well, they're trying to optimize for wealth and status. So if you use that as a lens to consider this, then asking someone to put a air quote down payment or reservation fee, deposit, whatever she wants to call it, does make a certain amount of logical sense. Now, you can hate that, you can get angry at that, but I mean, it follows a solid logic. So I'm sorry to say, it is what it is.
God damn, you got them huge honkers.
After I said I would require a deposit to take me on a date to cover my date preparation costs, I'm now working with an app developer to make this a reality. This is actually happening. We are building.
I will also just jump in real quick because she said date preparation costs. Like, I think she's going to be a single mother or something to that effect, or if not, a lot of the content that gets reacted to is from single mothers, which I don't think there's anything wrong in being a single mother in and of itself. You need more context before you can make any kind of decision or judgment based on that. But the preparation costs that I usually hear are, we have to do makeup, we have to do this, and honestly, guys really don't care. You're not doing that for your date. You're doing that for yourself. You're doing that to look impressive to other women. Again, it's that status chasing. No straight male will care whether or not you're wearing makeup. I mean, we care that you're hygienic and look like you're generally put together, but you don't need concealer and foundation and eyeshadow and mascara and winged tips and all of this other stuff that goes along with it. So the preparation costs are kind of a self-inflicted cost.
The app, I'm not even exaggerating when I tell you this is the best damn dating app you have ever seen, because there is a clear difference here where the woman can set the deposit rate.
She can set the deposit rate. This can't be real, bro. Setting the deposit rate. What, you think dating's a job now? Wait a minute.
Well, yes, Alana, it quite literally is at times. And look, this will obviously be abused by certain women. You'll have these delusional women out there that will say, oh, it's a deposit rate of $500, $5,000, $20,000, and we'll all point and laugh at them. But think about it. If you set a deposit rate of $1, that's immediately going to filter out basically every bot on the platform or someone who's just hitting the numbers. If a deposit rate of $1 is set, then if you're a man and you're on this platform, it can get a bit tricky because you don't know how many matches she's going to have, but assume it's a relatively high number. But that, I believe that would take it down from an order of magnitude of several thousands to maybe several hundred, maybe 100. We'll see. Again, we don't have enough data to go off right now, but from from a theoretical perspective, setting that deposit of $1 will only get you interested matches, really interested matches. And if you are interested in a girl on this platform, this theoretical platform, then that means you're competing in a much smaller pool of candidates. Now, obviously, she can still just deny you for all sorts of reasons, and that's a whole different problem. But from a logical perspective, whilst, you know, it sucks and it is very shallow and so on and so forth, it's not the worst idea if you assume otherwise normal behavior.
A little bit too on the nose, huh?
And the man can pay for her date preparation costs. So as a woman, you're going to walk into the date already so happy, and that's going to lead to a better date and a better connection, and that gives the man a better chance of...
Give me money for a better connection.
Also, jumping in quickly, this is obviously going to be rife for abuse, where a lot of women will go on this platform, charge, even if it's something like $50, $100, whatever it is, for a date, and essentially turn it into a career with no intentions of taking it further than that date. We'll definitely be seeing that, and I wonder how they're going to try and combat that, if they're even going to try and combat that.
These jokes write themselves, I swear to God.
Of succeeding in courting you. The app is called Courted. So when people ask, how did you meet? You can say, he courted me. So cute!
Oh
The website,
Again, all about the status.
absolutely stunning. And the app itself, incredible. All of the features are so unique and nothing like you've ever...
She thinks that this is unique, by the way. We've taken so many steps forward as females in the last, like, 40 years because of feminism and, like, the ability to vote. And now we're just taking, like, fucking 60 steps back. Dude, imagine telling your grandma that, dude.
seen on any dating app. Oh, and to everyone who said you can't do that, guess what? I just did. So we are going to launch this city by city. And if you want early access, click the link in my bio and sign up. Let's make
I do wonder if they're going to run afoul of any prostitution laws.
dating fun again. Love you.
Yes, queen. Oh my god. Thanks. Yeah, time is a fucking circle, man. I almost feel like I should have to put this in rage bait or retard, genuinely. Hey, but it's clearly retardation. There's no other way to put it, right? And it's like, it's so dumb. It's so stupid. It's so retarded that it's in a class, in a league of its own.
Whilst I do understand where Smug Alana is coming from here, there is a string of logic. There is a thread of logic throughout. So we can't be totally dismissed. Now, that's not speaking to any taste or morality here, but there is a thread of logic that runs throughout this.
And by the way, did anybody else notice this? The irony of wearing a cross around your neck and then making an app that is basically soft prostitution.
This will start a flame war, as it always does, but God does not exist. And so any decisions or any judgments you make based on that assumption are automatically going to be invalid.
Can you not taste the irony in the air? Like, maybe this is rage bait. Maybe I'm falling for it and I'm just an idiot. I can't, dude. How delusional do you have to be to think that men are actually going to be willing to do this? How stupid. Why couldn't they just go hire an escort? Like, why go through all this? How stupid do you have to be to think that women aren't going to take advantage of this system? Like, yeah, bro, got your payment for the date. See you at 9. And then they just don't show up. What are they going to do? Call the police? Refund them with your store credits? Like fucking DoorDash? My date didn't show up!
Very thoughtful commentary right there.
There's no shot! Yeah, sorry, dude. Your date didn't show up. Here's a list of other women in your area to shop from. Dude, there's no shot that they don't see the irony in this. Like, you think this through with the developer and, like, the guy making the website for him, and then he doesn't pause to, like, be like, hey, sweetie, you know, this is kind of like prostitution. I don't know what you're doing. I mean, maybe this is rage bait. I don't know. Guys, wait, hold on. Do you guys think it'll have, like, a priority option in, like, DoorDash where it's like, if you pay $3, you get her to get to the door faster or something? so that these hoes don't stop on the way to your house to do like 2 dates with other guys to pick up. You guys know what I'm talking about? I don't know. For those that don't use DoorDash, there's an option called priority delivering, and basically what happens is that instead of going to pick up other orders on the way, if there are any, they basically just go to your house immediately.
I do remember specifically one of the instances where I just got exhausted with the left and it kind of pushed me more to right. Although, again, intellectual here, very center. I was reading an article, and it was by one of the major BBC, not BBC, British publications, and one of the renowned ones. So not like the Sun or anything like that. I really would have to go find the article. I shouldn't reference a source without being able to cite it. But to be fair, it was years ago. But the long story short of this article was a female author, and she was complaining at great length about the eligibility of guys in her area, which I took to mean, oh, so you're actually struggling to get matches on dating apps. But as you read through, she goes on and she talks about how a date stood her up, which sucks for anyone, and you know that is a horrible thing to have happen. But she goes on to describe, so she jumped back onto the app, and within 20 minutes she had another date organized, and he was going to meet her about 20 minutes after that. So the idea that a woman could go onto an app and have a date organized within 20 minutes at her location is just absolutely insane. And one of the few things that had me throw my hands up, because this article was written from such a, I hate using the term, but privileged perspective. Like how that is unfathomable to most men being able to do that.
Yeah. I'm thinking that could be real, dude. And the other part that's super obvious, but I feel like it needs to be said. A relationship, and especially how it begins, should be like this mutual extension of effort and goodwill from both sides.
Okay, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. Thank you, Smug Alana. I'm probably going to take that from my source sheet.
You both get dressed up. You both put on your cologne and your perfume, and you go, I can't wait to smell. Like, I can't wait to smell good for this. You put in effort. You show up for the day. You put your best foot forward. You don't say slurs. Or maybe you do. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? How the fuck would a successful relationship ever come from a beginning where the guy had to pay you to even consider him?
I mean, to be fair, like, maybe not so much for the lower classes, but definitely for the upper classes, most of history.
Like, doesn't that put you, like, make you think, like, damn, this one's kind of a bitch. She won't even give me the time of day just if I don't pay her, like, $100 or something? You've put the woman in the role of, like, I deserve, even though she like, before she's even, like, put on her makeup or put an ounce of effort into, like, get to know you.
To be fair, that also acts as a filter in the opposite direction, because if you, as a man, encounter let's call it an I deserve woman, very entitled, and they always wear it on their sleeves as well, that's a very, very bright neon early warning sign that if you choose to proceed past, well, you kind of know what you're getting yourself in for there. So these women who would ask for an extravagant deposit on this app kind of filter themselves out as well as not being wife or long-term material.
But she's a queen, Alana. The guy has to accept it from her. So true. I need a refund on this bitch. She didn't even look on it. You know, I gave her $200.
I would love to see Homath react to this or break this down.
Where are my DoorDash credits? She didn't bounce on it, bro. I'm gonna leave a negative review. Oh my god, stop. I'm gonna lose it. I'm actually gonna fucking lose it. I'm gonna leave a 1-star review you didn't put out.
We're kind of crossing over into the territory of rent-a-girlfriend here.
Here comes Angel. She's got 4 stars out of 5. Imagine professional reviewers. Oh my god, stop it. I'm gonna holy fuck.
Steam curators for this app.
Honest question, chat. Think about it. Do you think like at some point the app would like add a tipping screen after the date is over? Like think about it. Like if we're gonna make the DoorDash allegory, right? Think about it. You know, at the restaurants how you get like the tipping screen that says like 10, 20, 30% or custom? How long before it's obligatory to tip the host for going on a date with you? That's crazy, dude. Think about it, man. Customer service refund policy? Yeah, someone's gotta keep them. We're literally going back to like the Stone Ages. Someone's gotta keep these bitches in check. Oh my god. Ugh. Looks totally sane to me. She's got them crazy eyes. Chat always points this out. Maybe you guys are better at like looking at it than me. I go based off what they say and how they say it. Chat apparently, like, because the majority of my chat is men, right? They go based off of eyes.
Well, there are a few tells. Bird hands is one of the big one. If you don't know, those are... You'd recognize it as soon as you see it. It's putting all the tips of your fingers together in the shape of a bird and making a pecking motion. That's generally a pretty big giveaway as well.
Yeah, apparently there's like a special look, the way they look at it. Those are some demon eyes. Is it the way that like the irises are like set in the eyeballs? Yeah. SSRI eyes. It's the way she opens them. Is that it? Swallow your soul. Jesus, dude. Men, when they sneak you must have wed me after the forfeit clause in the contract with a 10 times payback penalty upon refusal. Oh no! They make you sign a contract? Uh-oh. Little sneaky. Hear me out, guys. There's this businessman. Dude, this is actually so good. What movie is this from? This looks really familiar. I think it's from a show. Guys, I got something for you. Venture capitalism. Mad Men? Oh, that was it. Yes, dude. This is so good. Prostitution with extra slabs. What's it called when you have to pay women money for their time and affection?
A, she was a hooah. B, she was a hooah.
She was a hooah. Is that how they say it? She was a hooah. Oh my god, man. I thought you paid them to leave. No. You pay them to, you know. Yeah. The hosts from Bitch Dash have a special handler called a professional integration management person. Oh, a PIMP? Oh my god. End up being an app used by escorts. But like, okay, hold on. Hear me out.
There will absolutely be, air quote, escorts on this site. I don't think we can get away from that, and I wonder how the platform would combat those. Again, if it had any interest in combating that at all.
I've like watched like YouTube documentaries on like people that do escorting like for a living and shit. They do like pretty serious vetting so that like the girls don't get hurt and it's like a safe space. I'm not even kidding. Like some people get violent and they use it to take it out on like women. Like I don't think that's okay. And we watched one that was like in Vegas and they vet the people, make sure that they're safe, that they're clean. The girls get tested. The man gets tested. Yeah.
Yeah, did you know that prostitution is actually legal in Australia with certain caveats? It usually has to be at a brothel, and there's typically a madame, whatever you want to call her, basically in charge of the girls, and she'll make sure, well, at least at reputable ones, will make sure the guys are wearing condoms, and there's usually some level of security. As with everything, if you go down to the wrong one, like if you're just down at King's Cross, you're probably going to have a bad time. But if you go with one of the more reputable ones, it's pretty much as Smug Alana is describing here.
Like, this is really unsafe, like, unironically, too. Because it's like, who the fuck? Like, who are you signing up? Yeah. The Bunny Ranch? Yeah, I watched it, and it was really interesting, actually. Yeah. These hookers are following. These are hookers who don't rent to their hookers. Oh my, this is my favorite. Guys, look. There's an app. We're gonna call it Hodash. You see that? Real voice real? Yeah, my fucking voice changer broke. The bunch of whoas, but an app. Whoa. Freaking Hodash. Uber, but for hoes. What is this? It's a little bit of a ratio. Congratulations, you've invented prostitution. What do you mean invented? It's the oldest profession in the book. I don't know. I'm so happy that this has so many views and likes. Like, this is great. People need to call this out for what it is. You can't support this, like, batshit insane, insanely materialistic women that see relationships as nothing more than, like, an avenue for getting Gucci bags and self-enrichment and getting their extensions done and their nails done. And then those same women wonder why they can't find a good man when they turn, like, fucking 30. It warms my heart, it does, that every single person in the comments that we saw basically came to the same conclusion that I came to. Yeah. It's just a business transaction, that's right. So hot. That's so fetch. No! Stop, man. These fucking puns are killing me. GoFundMe is ratchet, dude. He named the app. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Gender relations would be improved twofold if you made the dating apps illegal. All of them are owned by the same firm, Match Group. This is actually true. Who makes them worthless on purpose to keep you paying. They serve no function other than making you hate the opposite sex and should be destroyed.
Or again, my counter argument to that is this is just expanding the pool of availability, and this is just reflecting actual values and actual behaviors here. Because again, in a lawful society, women are the gatekeepers of sex. Men have a much greater desire for sex than women do, in general. I know I'm generalizing here, but the point is the women are what's in demand, and the men are what have the demand. So whenever you have an imbalance there, it's pretty much market forces, supply and demand, yada, yada, yada. You've heard all of this before in a lot of other places. But whilst this is distasteful, for sure, and it does break people down into sort of economic units, that is pretty much all we are from a totally emotionless perspective. So if you make the logical choice here, no, it's not the apps that are the problem. The apps are just allowing or emphasizing behavior that is already there. And a lot of the complaints in the manosphere are, women only go for 10% of guys, so on and so forth. And my thought to that is, well, yes, of course, they're always going to go for the best they can get. You would do the same, pretty much. The problem is they do let emotions override logic, and that's where the issue comes into it. For an instance, on this app, should it go live, I can very clearly see there's going to be a trend that emerges where they'll go for the guy who does either the largest deposit, or of the guys that do the largest deposits, they'll pick their preference, and then they'll just end up cheating on him anyway, because they're only going for this guy because of his wealth and status, but not her attraction to him. So she'll go and try and find and fulfill her attraction desires elsewhere with another man, and then you get into cheating, and it's a whole thing. But I can basically guarantee you that that's going to happen. But yeah, disagree with what Naz is saying here. The apps aren't going to stop that behavior. They're just emphasizing something that's already there.
I've said this forever. I didn't know they were all owned by the same people. Like, until we watched, I want to say, a video maybe like a year ago about Tinder and a bunch of other ones that are like all owned by the same like 5 people. Yeah. It's like OkCupid, Tinder, and another one. And there's like a couple of other ones that's like kind of niche. I've said this many times. I think dating apps are killing dating. It's not organic. It encourages people to be extremely superficial. Like, we are superficial as a species, don't get me wrong. Like, the first glance, like, it means a lot, right? But this is extremely superficial. You judge people based on, like, a few pictures, if that, and then some random-ass facts that they wrote down about themselves. What if the person's, like, bad at writing? I don't fucking know.
So I'll give you an idea for free, guys, because this is something I came up with and have been contemplating for a while. But if you don't know, in these apps, you are given a hidden attractiveness score, more or less. And basically, the more attractive people like you, or the more people with high attractive scores like you, the higher your attractive score is. So I've always wondered, if you started fresh, and let's say you created 5, 10, 20, irrelevant number, just insert number here, female profiles, and they would obviously have a very high attractive score. You can use AI generated images or just whatever, but they're fake accounts, right? And you don't really interact with any other men. They're just there to farm a high attractiveness score. And you make sure they're in the same location as you or wherever this male profile is going to be. Then you create a fresh male profile and you swipe through until you find these fake profiles that you have created. You like them, and then they immediately like you back. And this is you controlling all of it, of course. And so as a male, that will give you a very high attractiveness score. And I wonder if that would affect your rankings and put you in front of more women and basically do a better job of helping you succeed. I wonder if that would actually work. But feel free to take that and run with that. Test that hypothesis for me.
Oh, like, it's such a bad way to, like, judge people. It also puts people into, like, this weird, numbers mindset when every single person that's, like, in the dating scene is all in one place, and then people start to get, like, into the mindset of, like, I don't need to settle for this guy who's a 6, because I can just DM the guy over there who's an 8 or a 9. It's like there's, like, no, sense of, urgency. There's no sense of loss. Oh,
See, again, I'd also say there's a little bit of self-filtering going on here, because if let's go with a numerical scale just because it's easier to understand. Let's say a 6 messages a 10 because she feels that's what she deserves. And let's hypothetically assume the 10 messages her back and they go on a date and so on and so forth. Because he's a 10, he has hundreds of thousands of, or thousands, I should say, of options to choose from. And the roles are reversed. And in all of the content we see online, women hate it. They hate it when the roles are reversed that way. They hate it when men have choice. And yes, you get into that typical trap that the manosphere is always going on to. They only want to go for these, top 10% of guys. But because these top 10% of guys have all of these options, they're not going to settle for you. And that's really where it should end. And logic should take over, and some level of introspection and self-reflection should happen here and go, okay, I believe I am an 8, a 7, a 6, whatever, because of these reasons. Because I have these traits that make me attractive, and I have these traits that make me non-attractive. So let's put that together. And now, what could I reasonably expect to find out in the wild, in the market, whatever you want to call it? What can I expect to find in my partner? Because there's positive traits that I want to have, and there's negative traits that I'd be willing to deal with, and then there's negative traits that are just deal breakers for me. And then you would use that and do a sort of cost-benefit analysis to decide, okay, well, here's what I am, here's what I can reasonably achieve or reasonably expect. So let's target someone who I believe falls within a certain range of that target, a little bit above, a little bit below, and that would inform your decision-making process. That would basically fix everything if just a little bit of logic was exerted here.
it didn't work out with this guy. Oh, good thing I have like another 30 dudes and then a 5-mile radius I can go on a date with. And this is like just basically for women. Like, guys don't get this treatment because women are the pickers. It's literally a machine that creates entitlement and then ruins expectations. Not settling for a 6 or a 7. You're done. Ban yourself. And then she sleeps with an 8 or a 9, then ghosts her, and then blames all men. Yeah, that's another thing. It's sad.
Yeah, basically exactly what I was just saying. Very good.
How can we get more women to think like you? Glazed? I mean, a little bit. I don't know how to answer that. I'm not gonna lie. I just am. Be a man? Oh my god, okay. Frying pans to the dome until a dent forms. That's how. I mean, yeah, that's one way. A lot of women do think like her. Problem is most of them are taken, or they don't care. I don't know. I think there's a lot of women that are like,
That is another good point, because if any woman does exercise the logic as I was just describing, she's very quickly taken out of the market because she does find a partner, and a partner who will treat her well. Like I remember some friends, female friends, were complaining about not being able to air quote find good guys, and then I asked them to explain further, and they list all of their goals and all of their desires and whatnot. And I go, okay, well, you really should go to something like a convention, because you will be in a target-rich environment with a lot of fairly wealthy, well taken care of guys who know how to handle themselves, but just haven't been given the time of day because they have nerdy interests. One of them, I know for sure, I suspect a few of them, but one of them actually took my advice and actually worked out very well for her. And I believe they're still together. And this is about 6 years ago. I've actually fallen out of contact with them. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I hadn't remembered that until just now. But yeah, so there you go. The advice does work.
There's a lot of girls that I think that social media like absolutely exemplifies and lets you find people that are the same type of miserable as you are, and there's no introspection within you. A lot of fatherless women. I've met a bunch of girls that were actually really nice people and had normal opinions and like normal opinions on dating that didn't have dads.
Okay, I think we'll call it there, guys. That was Smug Alana, a great introduction to her to the channel. Really love a lot of her content. I really love her style. So if you enjoyed that, definitely go give her a subscribe and a watch. She does do a lot of streaming, I believe, which I don't typically catch. I don't watch a lot of streaming. I'm mostly on YouTube and pre-made videos, but there you go. Yeah. Agree with a lot of what she was saying, and she did get around to some of the points I was making in the end as well. And again, it'll come up in future as well, but this is why I'm here, because I just haven't heard an intellectual view on a lot of this red pill man versus women type rhetoric that's going around. So if you liked hearing that and you'd like to follow, by all means, give me a subscribe, give me a like. And if there is any further content that you would like me to break down and react to, leave it in a comment and we'll take it from there. Thanks so much, guys, and have a great day.